Yes, guys, we are back with another episode of Lbins, man. Myself and Lbins to take you guys through a pretty rough time, actually, to be honest with you. You know, 3 games in the Premier League now without a win. We could have been 4 points ahead of Arsenal at the top of the table. We're now 3 points behind them, and we go to one of the most difficult places to play Premier League football at right now on current form, Aston Villa, with a injury hit squad, suspension hit squad. And hopes and prayers for Wednesday. Guys, before we get into it, as always, make sure you drop a like on the stream, man. 66 people in here already, only 21 likes. Let's get those likes up. Come on, guys, hit the thumbs up button for us, man. Really help support the channel. Yes, in the chat for some shout outs rapid. We got Owen, a big up to you, bro. Larby, yes. We got anyone? No one wants the shout outs this morning, guys. You know what I mean? What's going on here? Not good enough, man. Here we go. We got here to come. Chris, yes, he's in the building. We got Lorenzo. Good to see you, my man. Mohammed Kadri is in the building. L. Nobbins is in the building as well. Surprise. IP Trust is here as well. Hamza Khan, good to see you, mate. Big up to Nax. Big up to Daniel. Big up to VT, I think it is. Big up to Rory Young. Yes. Luan, I think is how you say it. Raw, big up to you, bro. Alvida Zane says, yes, head's gone. Massum says, I'm annoyed. I don't want a shout out.
We'll have one anyway.
Yeah, have one anyway. You're getting one anyway, bro. Guys, make sure you drop a like on the stream, as always. Really help support the channel. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. And, of course, subscribe to Nobbins. Link in description. But, bro, we need to have serious talk, man. Serious talk, bro, because 3 games now in a row without a win in the Premier League. We're 3 points behind Arsenal, which, considering we've not won a game in 3 games, is actually pretty impressive. But seriously missed opportunity in these last 3 games. We could have been 4 points ahead of Arsenal now, which would have been great. We now go to Aston Villa, which is going to be super tough. No Rodri, no Grealish, potentially no Jeremy Doku, potentially no Erling Haaland if he gets a ban. I mean, it's going to be a tough, man. But talk to me about yesterday. What's your take on the yesterday, bro, before we deep it?
Yeah, it's obviously it's. I mean, Bernardo Silva sums up in his post-match interview. It's incredibly frustrating that we keep dropping points so late on in these games. Against Chelsea, it was in the 94th minute. Even against Arsenal, it was in it was late on in the game. Against Liverpool, it was late on in the game, and obviously against Spurs, it was the 89th, 90th minute. There is something's been lost in this current squad. You think of last season, obviously late last season, if City had a lead, you sort of assumed, you just knew as a City fan that they were going to defend that lead and they were going to enjoy defending that lead as well. Especially with the likes of like Ruben Dias, no John Stones is out, but those sorts of figures and characters would just make it so that we would become an impenetrable defensive unit. But somehow our defence has actually managed to get worse this season so far. 4 against Chelsea. Late, I know it was only 1 against Liverpool, but still late on against Liverpool. 3 against Spurs. And we haven't kept a clean sheet in the league since Old Trafford, I'm pretty sure. Which is a long time ago. So, yes, it's not just a defensive issue. We should have killed the game in the first half. I thought we played very well in the first half. But it's pretty clear that there are some pretty big issues at City currently, and not all of it can just be down to players being injured. The dynamics in the midfield are clearly wrong. I actually don't know if it's... I mean, the third goal yesterday against Spurs was just individual defending. That was poor from Walker and Ake. That is poor. I just watched the goal back. Ake literally turns around to check who's near him. So he knows Kulusevski's running onto him, and yet he's not able to do anything, and he doesn't do anything.
But I got a question for you, right? What can Ake do there? Because, unfortunately for him, the cross is basically on top of him. And the runner has the run on him. The attacker has the run on him. I think actually, I actually think Ake is going to struggle there because he's stood still. There's nothing he can do. He's not got the momentum. The attacker's got the momentum, and he's running and jumping. He's got the momentum. All Ake can do there is just jump up. I don't know, man. I think Ake...
I mean, the main issue is Walker not stopping the cross coming in, let's be honest.
that's the point that I'm making. For me, Walker there, I mean, bro, what is he doing, mate? You know what I mean?
It's so weird because like throughout the, especially the first half, our pressing was so good. And then just like right at the end, Walker just decides to back off and allow the cross in to come in the 90th minute. It's a very odd, because he's clearly made a conscious effort to not close him and pressurize him. He hasn't just done it out of malice. He's clearly made an intentional decision of, right, I'm not going to actually properly engage. I'm going to basically allow this cross to come in, because he doesn't act until it's too late. And then by the time he acts, it's, as I say, it's too late and the cross is already in. So I'm still not going to give Ake a full pass. I do think that, I've seen him in the past be really aggressive and attack those balls and be proactive. I do see your point. It's more a Walker issue, but I'm not going to bail Ake out entirely. But yeah, it's a recurring issue that we're seeing. And it's, as I say, it's so odd because our defense should be a lot better. As I say, I don't even know if it's necessarily down to the individual defenders. I think it's more to do with the fact that our midfield dynamics are totally off, and that thereby impacts the defense. But it's a problem that Pep's got to sort. We've spoken about it before. I think I know what the solution is. But until that happens, I think the Aston Villa game, as you outlined, it's gonna get worse before it gets better in the immediate short term. We've got no out and out left winger now. Foden's probably gonna have to play at left wing. Unless Kovacic is back in the side, you're probably going to have Oscar Bob on the right. I can't really think of who else you'd have on the right, really. Like, obviously, Bernardo on the right, but then do we have enough central players? We do if players come back from injury. So, yeah, it's a sticky one, that's for sure.
I want to go through each goal that we conceded individually, but one thing I want to say just sort of more generally is I am very, very disappointed in our defence this year. I can't lie. Honestly, this summer, when we signed Gvardiol, right, I was thinking to myself, Walker, Diaz, Stones, Akanji, Ake, Gvardiol, Edison, who's making saves, Rodri in front of him. I thought, honestly, we could be in for a seriously good defensive year. And it's been the opposite. Poor, conceding too many goals, sloppy mistakes, man. They need to fix up quick, because you won't win a league if you defend. You can't be conceding 4 against Chelsea, 3 against Spurs, and expect to go on and win. We've got to fix that defense, man. And I know there's other problems as well. Midfield is clearly a big issue. Attackers not finishing the dinner up top is obviously an issue. But defense, we've got to improve that defense, man. Now, I'm glad that Ruben Diaz had a better game yesterday. We'll talk on the second goal. Could he have done better or whatever? But we have to fix up. I want to speak about the first goal, bro. Manchester City have a corner, right? And this is for the people who are new to football. This is an attacking situation, yeah, for the team. I don't know what to say about our corners anymore, mate, but they stress me out, man. They stress me out. I think we need to something needs to be said at a coaching level about our corners, because whether we take a short corner, I mean, I can't remember whether it was at the beginning, the end of the first half, or the end of the second half, or whatever. We had a corner towards the end. We took a short corner, and he ended up getting tackled. He went out for a throw-in. I mean, defensively, and I've said this before in the past, tongue in cheek. Said this last night. But in the past, I've said, City, yeah, when we get a corner, should just give the opposition a goal kick, because we're more of a threat to ourselves than we are to the opposition. I mean, that's embarrassing defense. It's embarrassing from the corner. It's embarrassing defending. I mean, what was your take on Spurs' first goal yesterday?
Yeah, well, I say, look, Brian Schill does do really well to get out of the Foden, who's like tearing down on him and pressing him. He does do really well to turn out of it, and it is a decent ball by him. But then, like, Doku's just got to be. I mean, you can maybe argue why is Doku the guy being tasked to pick up Son's run, but I don't really care who it is. He can clearly get his body in the way of Son, and he just, I think he just like misreads the flight of the ball, and he just allows Son to get in ahead of him, and then even then, like Doku makes that first error, and even then Edison should save it. Like I was not impressed with. I like Edison a lot, obviously, but I was not impressed with him yesterday. I thought he was really bad. Yesterday, I think he faced like 1 XG on target, and we conceded 3 goals. He did not have a good one. Look, we should have done better to stop it. You can't really legislate for Brian Gill doing really good in the turn. You can legislate for Doku just not reading the flight of the ball, and that's like been a big critique of Doku like when he has played, maybe his defensive level isn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
But he should just do better. He should just do
I've
better.
got to say as well, watching it back, bro, I don't know what Walker's doing.
No.
I always think in those situations, go to the ball, right? And people will say, yeah, but LB, if he goes to the ball, he's leaving the guy available. The space is not the danger. The ball is what is the goal. You know what I mean? If you keep the ball in the goal, that's the goal. Yeah. For me, I'm watching it back. Walker is obviously thinking about potentially not leaving his man, but Son's running through on goal. Human Son is running through on goal. Bro, go and close him down, man. Oh my, I can't actually believe, yeah. I might have to put this up on screen, man.
I think
Check it.
I think not saying he's necessarily right, but I guess I'm thinking that he's thinking I'm going to try to trust my keeper and I'm going to block off the pass. Maybe that's all I can really think of.
Nah,
I don't know.
I think that's bro. Human Son is a killer. Yeah, do not let him go through on goal. For me, the more I watch that back, the more I think Walker should just close the shot down. I think he should. I think he's made a mistake there as well. So anyway, you got Doku making a mistake. I think Walker's made a mistake there, and as you said, Edison should make the save. So yeah, that's not great from him there, to be honest with you. So the first goal, again, multiple mistakes. Let's move on to the second goal, which was Lo Celso, was it? Good finish into the corner. What was your take on Giovanni Lo Celso? I'm going to watch it back now.
Yeah, I think, what is it? 2/3 of all of his Premier League goals have come against us. Something ridiculous.
That's a joke. We've got the ball again on this one, bro. This is the annoying thing. The first goal, we've got a corner. We've got the ball. The second goal, we've got the ball, man.
Yeah, it's annoying. Alvarez gives it away for no real reason. That ball he attempts is never on.
Yeah, it's
stupid.
For me.
Like it's just stupid.
Isn't it? It's lazy.
Yeah, and I don't even know why, because he's not even like he's looked to see whether that run's on. I guess he's just assumed Haaland is making that run, but even if he was, the ball was poor. He just needs to play an easy ball to, I think it's like Bernardo or I can't remember who it is right in front of him. Just needs to play that to him, then maybe they've got a switch out to the left-hand side. Yes, and then I think 5 seconds later, it's in the back of the net. People are blaming Ruben Diaz. I can sort of get that because technically it's his man, but at the same time, I look to Edison, who gets a hand on it. I think that Edison should do better with the shot. That defenders can only do so much. If I'm blaming anyone for that goal, sort of like my third choice blame target is Ruben Diaz. I think I'm blaming Alvarez and Edison before I have a look at Ruben.
Yeah,
personally.
yeah. I'm kind of. I don't think anyone there has done anything majorly wrong, right? Even Alvarez. I think it's lazy from him, personally. I think the pass from Alvarez is lazy. It's never on, as you said. But at the end of the day, we lose the ball on the halfway line. And we've got all but 2 of our players behind the ball. So you've got to have a look at what else happens there. Why does the ball get headed into Son and no one's near him? Why is... Check this out again, man. Why is Lo Celso got the ball there with no one near him? Where is everyone? So he's no one near him there. And I agree. I think Diaz, if you're being ultra critical, maybe you could do better. Maybe you could close the gap down. It's good play from Lo Celso. And again, maybe Edison could do a little bit better. I think that one, I don't think there's anything dramatically wrong.
It's a very good shot, to be fair.
It is. It's a few minor errors and a decent finish. But again, not great. If we come to the third goal, the absolute killer. Dejan Kulusevski, obviously, with the goal. You spoke about it a little bit earlier on. By the way, guys, make sure you are hitting the like button, by the way. We've got over 200 people tuned in right now. Not even at 100 likes, guys. So let's get those likes up. Yeah, we're 30 likes away from 100 likes. Please hit that thumbs up button. Massive to help support the channel. Dejan Kulusevski, but you spoke about it before, but what was your full take on this?
Yeah, just annoying because 30 seconds before the goal, I think Ake does really well to win it back. Because Spurs had a dangerous attack down our left. Ake does well to beat whoever it is out, Johnson, to the ball or whatever. And then it comes to Bernardo, and for some reason we're trying to still play out from the back and do all these cute little balls when we're 3-2 up against Spurs in the 89th minute. I just don't understand who's the player on the pitch saying, right, guys, defend. Just just like easy ball's the best ball. Don't try to be cute with it. Just everyone get back, and we are just going to defend our box, and we are not going to concede a goal, and we are just going to go into the corner or whatever, and we are going to time waste basically because we've done, you know, it's not been a great game, but we've worked hard to get back into it, and at this moment in time, this is a vital 3 points. But then Bernardo just overplays it. That leads to a throw in, and then as we've discussed, it comes sort of like. I don't really know why Kovacic was brought on. He clearly wasn't up to speed with the pressing because there's a moment where he should probably engage. Can't remember who's on the ball. Maybe it's Emerson Royale or Davis. But I think Bernardo is the one, or sorry, Rico Lewis is putting him under pressure. Kovacic needs to come forwards to engage on the press. He just doesn't. Again, maybe because he's not quite up to speed with the game, having just recently come on. It comes to their left winger, and as we've discussed, it's just poor from Walker and maybe also poor from Ake, and it's so frustrating. And that was the most frustrating goal to concede for obvious reasons, but yeah, it's just pathetic, quite frankly.
I don't know what Walker's doing there, man. It's so I'm looking at Ake again, bro, and I don't know, man. I think Dejan Kulusevski's got the run on him. He's running at I don't see Ake doing too much wrong there. For me, Walker though, you've
got to prevent the cross in the 89th minute. Like it's you've got to. It's just not even a question.
Man. He doesn't even sprint, man. He doesn't even throw a leg out to try and stop the cross. He just lets the guy cross the ball. And it's a great header from Dejan Kulusevski, but it's so poor, man.
It's weird. And look, if Walker isn't even offering you that defensive side to his game, which we all know that's what he's in the team for. That's his attribute. He defends. If he's not even defending, and we know that he doesn't offer anything going forwards, then genuine questions need to be asked of why is he even playing? Because that you are literally offering nothing. Like even if Haaland isn't scoring goals, he's still able to create, or he's still able to hold up play and link up play. If Walker's not defending well, then there is no point there is no point in having him in the starting 11. I'm now of the view that I don't want him in the starting 11. In my preferred starting 11, I'm not having him because I've already decided he doesn't offer anything going forwards. This wasn't the final straw. I've already been thinking about this. I think I want to this is when everyone's fit. I want to Kanji it right back, to be honest. And we saw last season Champions League final. Did Walker start or did Akanji start? I think that tells you what Pep really thinks. But for some reason, I don't know. It's a weird one.
Because he begged him to stay,
which is fine and all. That's all well and good, but you don't have to then compromise on your principles of. We've talked about the attacking role that Walker's been given, being given the armbands. You know that maybe that's not an issue, but if he's not even bothering to stop a cross in the 90th minute to get your team a win, then I've got questions about that. And now maybe because you have given him the captain's armband, maybe you can't drop him for dressing room political reasons or whatever. I don't know how it works, but it's a very unusual situation, and it's such a shame because we should have just been 4-1 up at half time, and then you and I talking here, we're having a lovely day. But that's not what happened.
Absolutely. Guys, make sure you're hitting that like button, man. Are we at 100 likes yet? No, we're not. We're 15 likes away from 100. Guys, 300 people almost in the building. Please hit that thumbs up button. Really does help support the channel grow. Got a couple super chats here. Big up to German Chicken Wing. Says, your time setup was daggy. Or I don't know, dodgy maybe. Like the ref yesterday. This is because StreamYard doesn't use the 24-hour clock. And I always forget to change it to AM because it defaults to PM. So it is my fault, right? Because I should have changed it to AM. However, if they use the 24-hour clock, right, like most of modern society, then it wouldn't have happened anyway because I would have selected the right time. But my bad, man. My bad. Big up to Massum says, we are conceding goal like it's going out of fashion. Yeah, absolutely. Individual mistakes, bro. This is one of the problems for me is it's not a defensive system issue. Now, I do agree that the midfield is not helping, yeah? Because teams are getting way too much space in the midfield in transition. But if you look at the Chelsea games, look at the goals. Look at the goals, man. Most of them were mistakes from our own players. You got the Gvardiol one where he made a mistake. You had the Ederson parrying it back into the goalkeeper. Even though the penalty, I mean, that was a mistake from Diaz. He shouldn't have flew in like that. But look at the space that Sterling got in the midfield. I can't remember the other one. And then yesterday, we've just gone through mistakes everywhere. It's not like Pep Guardiola's getting it massively wrong with his team selection in terms of the system. Like, you can argue we want to drop him out, but Lbins ain't really saying drop Walker because the system's not working right now, although that might be part of it. It's because, as he's saying, if he's not giving you the defensive solidity, then, which is not, because yesterday was partially at fault for some of the goals, then what's the point of him being there? So we're making too many errors. Too many errors. Big up to Benno, says we blame refs, but been piss poor at the back of late. Yeah, well, this is it, man. Like, listen, you can look at the Liverpool goal that we scored, which was ruled out for a foul. I don't think it was a foul, but even so, again, poor at the back defensively. Yesterday, we can blame the referee, and 100% that is dodgy from the referee, mate. You know what I mean? It's dodgy, but should we really be relying on that? You know what I mean? Like, we can moan about it, no problem. If you want to sit here and moan about it, no problem, man, because that was poor from the referee yesterday, seriously poor. But we got to look at ourselves first and go, what's going on? We shouldn't be relying on a 92nd minute advantage play from the referee to get us the 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean you can't moan about it if you don't want. You can moan about it by all means. But we got to look at ourselves and say, why are we not finishing our chances? Why are we conceding sloppy goals? Why are our defenders making errors? That's what we should be doing. Of course, speak about the referee as well, because it is kind of a madness. Chicken Wing again says it's a shame seeing rival fans celebrating the referee. Oh, bro, I see that. I'm at the cards time ago, bro. You know what I mean? Goldbridge and that. You know what I mean? He's been chatting on. He's been sucking up to Liverpool and that weird behaviour. And then as soon as it's City, it's like, oh, it's fine. You know what I mean? Listen, people don't like us, man. People like to say they don't care about us. They do. They absolutely hate us. They don't want us to win anything. I seen it this morning with Talksport. Ali McCoist in Paris with Newcastle the other day, talking about the biggest robbery since the train robbery in London back in fucking 70 years ago, whatever. Yeah, big time. Yesterday, he was saying it was refreshing. That's what he said this morning. It was refreshing to see the referee make a mistake without VAR. You what? He was literally talking about the biggest robbery going about 5 days ago. So listen, we just got to focus on ourselves, man. We ain't going to get no love off nobody else. So ignore all that. Try and block it out. I know it's annoying, and I get stressed out about it as well. But this is why we've got to focus on ourselves. Don't rely on referees. We cannot rely on referees, mate. They're not going to help us. They're not going to help us. So we can't rely on them. We got to do it ourselves. At the moment, we've only got ourselves to blame because we're not winning games, which we should be. We're not killing off matches, which we should be. Yeah, and we're defending sloppily. So yeah, listen, that's a little bit frustrating. We now have, Nobin spoke about it before. I think I touched on it as well. We now have an injury crisis and a suspension crisis. Rodri out with a suspension. He got yellow carded yesterday. Jack Grealish, foolishly, absolutely
that really annoyed
foolishly,
me.
kicking the ball away. Don't blame the referee. Rules are rules. He kicked the ball away, booked. Now he's out. Doku is going to have fitness tests today. They're going to do some scans on him and see if he's going to be okay. But I wouldn't hold your breath on him because he was holding his leg, and it looked more of a muscle injury than a knock. It's just madness, bro. It's a madness. You know what I mean? I don't even know who's going to be. I mean, I might get the tactical pad up actually and see, because you said you wanted to start a Kanji. I mean,
well, yeah,
talk to me.
I was just going to say, like, what I want might not be relevant given the current personnel availability. Like, it's going to have to be, everyone knows I don't want Alvarez in the midfield, but given our lack of options, it probably is going to have to be him, isn't it? Because Foden is not going to be able to play in the midfield because we have no recognised wide players outside of Bernardo and Foden. So, obviously, they've both got to play on the wing unless you want to introduce Oscar Bob into the team. There's no other. I don't think there's any other alternatives really, and this is why we need we do need to sign a winger at some point, whether that's in January, whether that's in the summer. We do need a winger. I've got the boards here, yeah. So we can. For argument's sake, we can assume that John Stones is fit. So
I mean, John Stones has to play, mate. It's a risk. It's not ideal, but he has to play. So. Ederson, it's so annoying with Ederson because I've been singing his praises recently, saying he's closing in on Alisson, which I do think he is. But he has made 2 mistakes now in big games in these 3 matches against Nicholas Jackson and obviously yesterday for the first goal. But he will come in. So you take me through your team that you play for Wednesday, and I will critique it.
Okay. Okay. So obviously, it's going to be Diaz as the central centre half. We'll set up in our 3-2-2-3 shape. I think probably start Ake. I think because Diaby is a massive threat for Aston Villa, so I think that he should probably be the left side centre half. And then who do I want? Yeah, I want a Kanji right centre half, to be honest.
Okay. And just quickly, the thoughts on it, what was your reason, just for people who've just joined? Just what was your reasonings again for Akanji over Walker, bro?
It's because, look, as much as Akanji isn't a perfect defender, he's actually quite good on the ball, and he's actually quite good when it comes to his diagonal switches in particular, and he does actually offer something going forwards as well. Like, if you think like what Gavardio did against Leipzig midweek, Akanji can do that. Like, we even saw in like the Champions League final on the biggest of stages. Where does that attack stem from? It's Akanji coming forwards and actually finding Bernardo Silva between the lines. Arguably, that pass is more important than giving Bernardo Silva's deflected pass to Rodri. So Akanji can be that guy. He's just better on the ball than Walker, and I think you've just got to get Walker out of the side, even just for a game, just to see what can happen here. And I want Akanji to play. I think he's been very good this season. So I want him there. Stones are assuming is fit, so obviously he can go to like the right defensive midfield, whatever you want to call it. It's gonna have to. So Rodri can't play. Oh my god! But it can't be Bernardo. It's gonna have to be Nunes, isn't it? Next to Stones.
Is Nunes fit though? Was on the bench yesterday.
He wasn't, but I think for argument's sake we might have to assume he is. Otherwise, I don't know what I'm gonna do with the team.
Kovacic.
Well, Nunes or let's assume Nunes is fit for my sanity.
Okay.
But in a reality in which he isn't fit, I guess you're gonna have to play either Kovacic or Rico there, I guess. But I want Nunes to play there.
Okay, so just a disclaimer: if Nunes isn't fit, this is Kovacic.
I suppose it's gonna have to be, yeah, okay. or maybe Lewis. Right, Foden on the left. I can't think of any other
left wing.
Yeah, it's going to have to be.
Yeah.
I'm so upset. Foden, Bernardo on the right, it's going to have to be. Right wing, yeah. Obviously, Haaland as a striker, assuming he's not suspended.
Yeah, that's another disclaimer. He might get suspended. He was swearing at the referee and quote tweeted the clip and put WTF. So that is potentially a banning coming for him. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, and then of Rico Lewis, probably left central midfield. I guess it doesn't really matter. It's much of a muchness.
Okay, yeah.
And then, oh god, it's going to have to be Alvarez, isn't it? I don't really want it to be, but what are the other options? Play Kovacic there? Is that the only alternative that we have realistically? Play Kovacic instead of Alvarez? People saying Oscar Bob, that's a lovely idea, but that's never going to happen. I don't want to throw him in at the deep end away against Aston Villa when we basically need to win. And that is a really, really bad team, to be honest. Yeah, I'm not happy with that. But people saying Alvarez right wing again, that's not going to happen. That's not realistic. I think that is a realistic starting 11. You could swap out, you could swap Nunes for Kovacic or Nunes for Lewis and then put Nunes slightly more advanced. But we are dealing with pretty minimal options here. I think the wingers pick themselves. Foden has to play on the left. That's not negotiable, I think. Unless anyone can think of another alternative. Unless you want to shove Alvarez there, that doesn't work. Bob's not going to be thrown in against Aston Villa, nor should he be. So that means Bernardo has to play on the right. I'm actually quite happy with the defense. I actually think that defense, that 3-2, I'm actually really happy with that. That's fine. So I don't actually fear for us defensively, individually. I just fear for us from a sort of maybe transitional and offensive perspective. What do you think about that, though?
Ain't looking good, Brev. Ain't looking good. I agree on the defense. I think the defense is decent there. You know what I mean? I like the Ake up against Diaby. Not that I think Vardy's done much wrong personally, but I like the
Yeah, I
Ake.
agree.
I think we need to get into a defense now that just is not conceding goals and is more defensive minded. So I go Ake. Diaz played well yesterday, so he can come in, and obviously a Akanji at right back. Fully agree. I think that Walker. I think he'll be lucky to keep his position on Wednesday. However, I fully expect Walker to still play on Wednesday. But I agree with you. I probably would go with Akanji. John Stones has to play. You can't just keep on resting him. We need to be winning matches. And facts are, we don't have the team. We don't have enough players. He has to kind of play. I doubt Nunes is going to be fit for the game. I doubt he's going to be fit. So I imagine that will be Kovacic. That will at least give us some ball retention in the midfield, which is nice. Alvarez ain't really doing it at the moment. I actually didn't think he had the worst game in the world yesterday. I think it's probably one of the better games he's had recently, but still just not doing enough. Rico Lewis actually there is someone that I'm kind of excited to see. You know what I mean? I'm liking seeing him there. Foden left wing.
Start.
Yeah, Foden left wing if Doku doesn't make it, because obviously we're waiting to hear on Doku's injury. Left wing for me is probably Foden's worst position out of all the positions, but again, you don't really have any options. Bernardo right wing is one thing that I'm actually super happy about. I think that's where he should be playing right now for me. I think get him out on that right hand side, because I don't think he does enough in the middle in games where you need to win, because he doesn't create chances and he doesn't score enough goals. And I think I've said it for years, man. I think there's a myth going around because he's called Bernardo Silva. He's got a posh name and he's from Portugal, that people just think he creates and does all stuff. He doesn't. He's great in that. He's great in the middle. I think in massive games, Liverpool at Anfield, I'm very happy to have him in the midfield because he just doesn't stop running. But in games where you need to create, I'd rather have him on the right wing. I think he's much more of a threat out on that right wing. So I like seeing that. And obviously, I mean, let me throw a spanner in the works, bro. Yeah.
What about Sergio Gomez?
No, what about if Haaland gets a ban? What do you do then?
Oh God! Right. Well, obviously Alvarez up top. You've got that's not negotiable. Are we still assuming that Nunes is fit, or am I not allowed him either?
I don't think he's going to be. I think he might be on the bench, bro, but I don't think he's going to be available, so he can go as well.
So Kovacic has got to go where Nunes was.
Kovacic, Nunes, yeah.
Genuinely, Oscar Bob in midfield.
It would have to be. I don't even have I got him on the list,
because there is no reality in which Phillips sees the pitch. There's no point. It's pointless. That looks terrible. Maybe. However, so out of possession, Bob would go to striker alongside Alvarez, and we'd create that 4-4-2 shape there. So it would be Alvarez and Bob up top as the strikers. It would be Lewis and Kova in the midfield too. Bernardo on the right, Foden on the left. So, you know, I'm not... To be fair, it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be, in fairness, because Bob played really well centrally away at St. James's Park in the League Cup. I thought it was fantastic in that right central midfield position. So, but that's a team.
That, and by the way, guys, if Haaland gets banned, which is a potential he might get banned because he was swearing at the referee and done that mad tweet that the FA are not going to be happy about, and Nunes still isn't fit, that this legit could be the team, Lbins.
I think given the likely parameters of injuries, suspensions, and the available options, and the reality that Phillips isn't going to see the light of day in the starting 11, especially in a big game at Villa Park, that is, I think, the best that we can possibly hope to achieve. To be fair.
As Lee says here, man, says huge squad is a myth being put in the bin here. Bro, people say that, because they're dumb. That is the truth. We have statistically one of the, if not the smallest squads in the Premier League. What we have, though, is players that can play multiple positions, like Bernardo Silva. So when someone gets injured, they go, but you can play Bernardo Silva there. All right, what about the other position? Oh, Bernardo Silva. So, okay, we don't have a huge squad. We have a player that can play in like 5 different positions. Same with Foden. Same with Alvarez. Same with Rico Lewis. We have a mad squad. Yeah. But it's not that I can't really moan about it, though, because it's Pep's choice. Pep wants this. So I can't really... Well, I can maybe moan about it, but then then you take an issue with Pep Guardiola. But it's not like, we're just in this position. This is a choice. We could have had more players if we wanted, but we choose not to. So you got to you can't really moan about it, I guess, when it happens. Like, you just got to fucking roll with it, unless you want to criticise Pep.
we have a big squad from a quality standpoint, like in terms of, like, our first choice substitutes are first team quality sort of thing. However, when you go past sort of like those main options on the bench, that's when the quantity argument of the squad is basically put to rest. We don't have two fantastic starting 11s. We have an unreal starting 11, and then we have some fantastic first choice players. We also have players who can play multiple positions, so it makes it look bigger than it is. But if you get an injury to one of those players who can play 2 or 3 different positions, then with one player you're losing 2 or 3 different positions. And it's give and take. If injuries happen, you've got to hold that, basically. But Pep clearly favours that, and it's worked for him long term. So at this moment in time, we've got to hold the injuries, the suspensions, and we've just got to hope that when players come back, when players aren't suspended, that everything just comes back in order and everything clicks, and they don't get suspended again.
Yeah,
or injured again.
That is factual information. Devious says, why do we even buy Nunes if we're not going to use him in the midfield? At least playing alongside Rodri is better than Rodri isolated.
I would love that.
Yeah, I'd like to see it be given a go. And in fact, Devious, I need to see it be given a go, because otherwise, the first part of your message, I'm fully on board with. Why did we sign him? Yeah, I mean, so I want to see him when he's available, and I don't think he's injured. I think he's ill, innit? Is that right, bro?
I think that's maybe right. Yeah.
So hopefully, like, when he's not ill, he can just come straight back in. I need to see him play, man. I need to see him play. Hopefully with Rodri. Obviously, it won't be on Wednesday because Rodri's out. I need to see him play, and I need to be given a run in this team. Otherwise, I've just got to question why we even signed him, man. Do you know what I mean?
So I was going to say, especially because Rodri's biggest weakness is not being able to cover space on his own. Nunes is so good at covering space. That's like one of his best off-ball attributes. So having Nunes, whether you have him, next to Rodri, whether you have him slightly ahead, like one of like the 8 roles instead of where Alvarez is, I think that in itself like solves a lot of issues as well. Like it brings more legs into the midfield. It brings more space covered into the midfield. It assists Rodri from a defensive standpoint. He's a very good ball carrier as well. And it's a shame that he's been ill/injured for the past few games, because I think that he could have made a big difference in these past few games starting, but we sadly haven't been able to see it.
I mean, this could be the moment, really, that Nunes steps into this team and shows us what he's about, and it needs to be, really, guys. Because if he can't come in here and make our midfield improve, then, we got problems, man. Big up to Lux says, Gvardiol and Walker making too many mistakes. I disagree on Gvardiol. I don't think he's been making mistakes.
I thought he was okay. Yeah, I thought he was fine yesterday overall.
I don't know where this has come from. I think a lot of people are slagging Gvardiol off and saying he's not been good. I think he's been great this season. I think he had a bit of a ropey game at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think he's been super impressive. I'm quite surprised that people not really liking how he's been playing. I think he's been great by Chelsea. Walker, I do agree. You know what I mean? He is making too many mistakes, and you are spot on that one for me. Guys, make sure you do drop a like on the stream if you've not done so already. Over 300 people tuned in right now. And we're on, 127 likes. We're not even at 150 likes, man. Please hit that thumbs up button. 24 people to hit the thumbs up button. Get us to 150 likes. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Of course, if you want to help support the channel, you can become a YouTube channel member. Link in the description. We run 2 giveaways a month. Yesterday, we run one. And big up to Nari Men in the chat, who was the lucky winner of the secret shirt giveaway. Cronenberg won the other one a couple of weeks ago. And before that, Mukesh Kumar needs to come outside. Yeah, man, it's a bit of a madness, isn't it? City, 3 games in a row. No wins. This Villa game, man, so tough. I mean, you almost couldn't have asked for a tougher game, bro. I mean, their home form this year, I don't even think this year, just generally, like, since Emery's gone there, he's just a joke.
And they're like 1 point behind us as well. So they'll be even more. I mean, they'll be up for it anyway, but they'll be even more up for it knowing that, guys, if we get the win, we go 3rd in the table. So they've got every reason to want to beat us. Never mind the context of our injuries, suspensions, poor form, whatever you want to address. So yeah, it is literally one of the worst things. I think that this is the last game of that really tricky run we talked about. I think like from here it gets slightly easier.
Well, easier, like on paper. I don't
Sure.
think going to Luton Town away is going to be a particularly easy game. People might laugh at that, but listen, I've watched Premier League football a long enough time to know that those sort of grounds, they're up for it, mate. They're up for it. They're scrapping. They're fighting to stay in the division. You know what I mean? They're difficult places to go. Them old school grounds. You know, the multi-millionaires of Manchester City players are not going to enjoy going there. So whilst yes, on paper it does, at the moment we got to be treating every game like a cup final. I know it's cliche, but we do. You know, we're not in a position to be looking at him going, "Oh, easy." We got to go there, Nobbins, and just try our best. I mean, the lucky thing is as well after this, Arsenal then have a few tricky fixtures, so it can sort of let us back in. But just for the last part of the show, what's your take on January transfer window, mate? Does City need to do business? If we do need to do business, what area of the football pitch do we need to do the business on?
Well, I know what I want long term. I want another Doku. What do I mean by that? I want another two-sided, two-footed winger. I want someone in the mould of, not necessarily, but in the mould of Nico Williams from Athletic Bilbao, who has just signed a contract extension recently, which is a bit annoying. But to be fair, Caicedo signed a contract extension before his big move to Chelsea, so maybe it was a club thing of, look, we'll let you go, but just give us some money sort of thing. That's the sort of player I want because, as we've discussed, we have no wide players. If we have a couple of injuries, that's why I want another two-sided player because Doku can play on the left, obviously. I want to see him more so on the right. That's where he played so well at Rennes. But whether it's the right or the left, that's the player I want. Another winger. When De Bruyne comes back, that will fix a lot of issues in terms of the midfield because it will mean that Alvarez gets dropped. I mean, I'm assuming so. And it will mean that we actually have some forward thrust and creativity from the middle. I mean, just and I'm going off tangent here, but look at the starting 11 yesterday. You know, you discuss Bernardo Silva, who isn't that creative outlet centrally. Alvarez, not that creative outlet centrally. Everything is forced down the wings. So De Bruyne coming back will fix a lot of those essential issues. Also, signing a winger will allow and will hopefully facilitate Foden to be more of a central player. And we all know how good he is at creating centrally. So that solves another issue of us not being able to really create centrally with these players. So if someone like Nico Williams is available in January, go for it. I doubt that. I really doubt that this quality of player will be willing to, their club will be, willing to let them go in mid-season. So I personally don't really see us signing anyone, to be honest.
I think we need someone, man. I think we need. We might get away with one. If we can get one in there, it might be enough. But I do think we need one, bro. I think we're short, man. I think we're short, and I think the reason we're short is we bought Kovacic and Nunes, who they can't play together. Yeah, we've seen that against Wolves. They can't, right? So you're kind of fractured there because we play one, the other guy can't play. I think we need one, but I don't know who you're going to get in January because
Yeah, well, exactly.
you're not going to be able to get Paqueta out of West Ham in January. No, I just don't see that at all. They're not going to sell him in January. They're in the next round of the Europa League. They're a top 10 Premier League team. They're doing well. They're going to sell. Florian Wirtz kind of made it clear through the press last year that he ain't leaving Leverkusen until after the Euros, right? Because he wants that Euro spot, so he ain't going to go. That's two. Musiala, can you get him out of Bayern in January?
Definitely not.
I don't think you can you?
No, definitely not. He's a German player playing for Bayern Munich. You're probably not gonna get him out full stop. Never mind in January. No chance.
Yeah, and he's injured anyway. He's injured anyway. He's got a hamstring injury.
Yeah, I don't think he's the sort of player we need right now. Anyway, as I say, I really want a wide player. I want that. I want Nico Williams. I love Nico Williams.
Bro, random, yeah, proper random. But there's a couple people spamming this in the chat. Jadon Sancho, would you take him?
Guys, we want to improve the quality of the squad. Keyword there, improve.
So that's
no, obviously not. Obviously not. No, I know. I think I saw Syed saying Rashford's like, no, thank you. You can keep him.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. I don't know who we can get, man. Like, so who? What's the name? Just Williams. Is it Nike Williams? Is that his name?
Nico, Inaki's his brother.
His brother. Yeah.
Nico is a well, again, he's 2-footed, he's two-sided, but he's his stronger foot is his right foot. He's best off the left, and I think that long term, I would love to see Nico on the left and Jeremy Doku on the right, and that is a terrifying wing pairing. And then De Bruyne comes back, and because you've got an actual proper, out and out, two proper out and out wingers now, it means that Foden will hopefully be allowed to play in the middle. And again, that just solves a lot of problems that the City currently have.
Elise?
I'd take him as well. I was excited at the idea of signing him in the summer. I know he has just signed another contract with Crystal Palace, so I guess we'd have to see if there's maybe we can do a release clause special there. But again, I'd be up for having Elise 100%. An out-and-out winger is what I want. Preferably one two-sided and two-footed, but...
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think we've left ourselves light. I think, I think the midfield... I mean, to be honest with you, this is all just because we messed up on Gundogan. I think if we kept Gundogan, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I think we would have been fine. But the club decided that they didn't want to give Gundogan the contract that he wanted. People said that wasn't true. It was true because he said it in an interview. If we would have given him the contract he wanted in January, when he wanted it, he would have stayed. We wouldn't be having this conversation right now. They messed up on that. And to be fair, City don't really make too many mistakes. But they definitely messed up on that one. Second City say, big up to you, man. Thanks for supporting me on the channel, mate. Says, how about we improve our finishing? Haaland and Alvarez missing sitters is not down to formation or Pep shoehorning Alvarez into the team. Thoughts on finishing, Lbins?
Yeah, I mean, but both things can be true. The finishing can need to improve, while simultaneously it is a problem Alvarez is being shoehorned into the team. It's not. Fair. This isn't a zero-sum game, and two things can be right at the same time. But yeah, finishing, as we discussed, we should have been out of sight first half. It should have been 4-1, 5-1, done.
Yeah.
And then it's irrelevant. And then Spurs are depleted, and you just manage out the game, and you hit them on the counter, maybe even score another one.
I don't want to speak for second City's sake, but what I imagine that he's getting at there is, yes, maybe the system isn't great, but if we did just finish our chances, we'd still be winning the matches. And then we can maybe speak about 100%. The system, maybe not being ideal, but we'd still be winning the games. So I imagine that's what, but you are, I agree. I agree with you. Both things are correct, but when you're not winning the games, maybe people start to look at the system a little bit more, but we do need to be putting the ball in the back of the net, and we need to be getting 2-goal advantages at the moment, which is disappointing because, as I said right at the start of this stream, I had a real hope and ambition for this season that our defense was going to be rock solid. And why not? Why is that? It's not a ridiculous thing to say. I've got the best defensive right back in the world. He's not showing it, but he's the best defensive right back in the world. Ruben Diaz. Akanji's very solid. You got John Stones, one of the best centre-backs in world football. Ake, who's great. And you just signed Gvardiol. And in front of that, you've got one of the best defensive midfielders in the world in Rodri. It was not a ridiculous thing for me to say that I was expecting my defence to be super solid this year. And they're just not performing. And it's disappointing that I'm having to sit here and say, I think my team needs to get 2-goal advantages to win football matches. That's not normal, man. I shouldn't be saying that. I mean, last season, and chat will know this, going into games, I was saying clean sheets here, clean sheets, mate, against everyone. Real Madrid buying us, backing us, but not now. Nah, mate. Villa, bro, they're scoring at least 1 or 2 goals on Wednesday, mate, in my opinion. So that means we need to score 3. And we're not finishing our dinner properly. So, yeah, we need to.
It's easy to say, but I'm still very convinced that when Stones comes back into the side, that does solve a lot of issues. Last time we kept a league clean sheet, he started it. We haven't kept one since. He does, and maybe this is maybe some fans are now seeing the value, or if they didn't somehow see it before, the value of John Stones in the team. We talk about the missing Rodri, which is absolutely fine. But look what happens when we don't have John Stones. If we don't have Stones, it's a midfield and a defensive issue. Is Stones even more important than Rodri? Question mark.
Yeah, I missed super chat apparently. Oh yeah, I'm taking a draw right now. Yeah, sorry, bro. I must not have seen that. I'll try and look it on screen. German Chicken Wing said he's going to take a draw against Arsenal. Would you take a draw? I Look, I can't say when we're 3 points behind Arsenal that I'll take a draw. No, I can't say that.
Depends on the context of the table at the time, doesn't it?
Yeah, because Arsenal will be 6 points ahead of us likely by the time.
Oh, sorry, is this against Arsenal or Villa?
Villa, sorry.
Oh, sorry. Oh no, yeah, we can't not win 4 league games in a row. Has Pep even ever done that in his City career? I know they aren't the easiest games, but I mean, no, you can't. I don't think you can take a draw. I don't care about the squad issues. Like, no, the failings of the past 3 league games have meant it. So this is the definition of a must-win, in my opinion. I don't care how early it is in the season.
Yeah,
you can't fail to win 4 games in a row.
Yeah, no, I agree. I agree. If we don't win, that doesn't mean the league's gone. Obviously, we'd only be if we're drawn. I think we'd be 5 points behind Arsenal because we'd be 6, and then if we draw, we'd be 5. So we're only 5 points behind Arsenal. The league's not gone, but it's still a must-win game. Like you can't just be draw. Like Nobin said, you can't just draw 4 games in a row and be like, oh yeah, we'll take a point. Like I understand why someone might say a point at Villa is a decent result, and on the face of it, it's like when we went to Newcastle last year and drew 3-3. And we was all probably not very happy with it. But then later on in the season, we went, oh, probably a decent point in the end. You might say that about Villa, but you can't. I don't think having drawn 3 games in a row, you can sit there and say, I'll take a point at Villa. Because I don't think you can do that. I think you've got to say, no, we need to win the match. You need to win the match. We're going for the Premier League. You can't be drawing a 4th game in a row. So, yeah, I understand why you might say that, but nah, not for me, man. You got to be back in the win. Second City Saints says, do you think Pep needs to cool the very high line he plays? I don't think that's what's costing us. I don't think the high line or the press is what's costing us. I think it's the lack of midfield. Obviously, we've spoke about the individual errors defensively and not putting our chances away. But I think it's the midfield being non-existent. And I think, 2 perfect examples of that is the penalty that we conceded against Chelsea in the 93rd minute or whatever it was. Go and have a look at it again. Look at the amount of space that Raheem Sterling has in our defensive third in the midfield in the 92nd minute of the game when you're winning 4-3 away from home. That is not normal, man. That's not normal. That we should have been packed that out. He should have got the ball and been forced to go backwards. We're pressing all the way up the pitch in the 92nd minute. Rodri and Kovacic in no man's land. I can't remember who else was playing in the midfield. And then yesterday, Lo Celso. I know we had the ball, but again, we lost the ball. Look at the space that Son and Lo Celso are in. Where's the midfield? So I don't think necessarily it's the high line. I think it's the fact that our midfield is non-existent and our defenders are making defensive mistakes. So that's what I would say on that one. I don't know if you've got anything to say on that, Lbins.
No, I thought that yesterday our high line, our high press was very good. It worked very well. We forced so many errors. In fact, the best chance of the game came about from us pressing high. That Haaland missed sitter came about from our players playing really high and aggressively and pressing. So yeah, for me, that wasn't the issue.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Interesting though. And German Chicken was said the league is still long break with the super chat. Exactly, man. Which is why I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, you know, the league is not won or lost against Aston Villa. But as I said right at the start of the stream, I think we can consider ourselves a bit lucky that we've not won 3 games in a row. We're only 3 points behind Arsenal. You know what I mean? Another season, they could have been fucking 10 points clear by now. So we're a bit lucky there. And once this Villa game's done, Rodri's back, Grealish will be back, Stones will be back, and then hopefully we got our players back, and then obviously in a month's time, Kevin De Bruyne comes back. You know, yeah, I mean, as I said, just quickly, bro, as I said when Kevin De Bruyne got injured, against Burnley, as long as we're within 5 to 6 points, of whoever's top by the time Kevin De Bruyne gets back, I'm backing us to win the league, right? But obviously we've just had a bit of a missed opportunity because really we should have won all these 3 games and we would have been 4 points ahead of Arsenal. So it ain't too bad at the moment. It's just it can't get worse. We're on the edge of the cliff, right? And we're doing all right. We're close. Stay on top of the cliff, and we're all right. We can have our picnic. But if we keep going, boom, you're gonna go over, and then it's see you later. You know what I mean? We're done. So let's stay on the top of the cliff, man. And you got to do that by beating Villa. But that is going to be a tough one.
I was just going to echo exactly what you said there. Yeah, as long as we are within touching distance in January, February, I'm still not concerned about this season. Obviously, the past few games have been concerning, but I'm still pretty confident at this stage, bar any other ridiculous injuries or whatever. If Haaland gets an ACL, or whatever, then that's a different story. But Outside of that, I'm still relatively confident that City win the title with like a game or two to spare, to be honest.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Big up to second City Saint, man. Just that's good evening. Nah, man.
Good
Let's
evening.
not do that, bro. I can't be getting memed off Emery on Wednesday night, which is going to be a tough game. But big up for the super chats. Big up to everyone who has sent a super chat in. German Chicken Wing, Massum, Benno, Lux, Second City Saint. Big up to you guys. Thanks for supporting me on the channel. Nobbins, what have you got coming out on the channel? You got another tactical video. By the way, guys, you need to be watching Nobbins' tactical videos, man. And you know what I like about them, yeah? Is I like obviously watching it and understanding what's going on in the game. But where I actually get more sort of knowledge and understanding from your video is the next game when I'm seeing what you're talking about happening again. So when like again for me, I thought we wasn't great going down the right hand side again yesterday, and I was like, oh yeah, DC spoke about this in the last video. So you got another one coming out, hopefully, right?
Yes, well, definitely yes. So I will be working on that today. So it'll either be released later today, probably tomorrow, because I want to make it a good video. I don't want to pump out. I don't want to make it shit quickly. I'd rather make it good slowly. So if you guys haven't watched the series yet, you guys seem to be enjoying it, which is fantastic. Yes, it's an analysis. Post-match analysis, post-mortem, where I take stills from the game, I take stats from the game, and I have a look at the game, try to figure out what went right, what went wrong, why the game happened in the way it did. If that content sounds like it's of interest to you, the video is around 10 minutes long. My channel will be in the description, I think. And those videos come out after every City game, so plenty of content for you guys to enjoy.
Yeah. No, it is worth a watch, guys. Only 10 minutes long, so it's not a massive one. And like I say, for me, when you're watching this in the next game and you see the same sort of things happening that you're speaking about, it is super interesting. Big up Chicken Wing again says we have played the hardest games than anyone though. Interesting. Is that facts? Is that facts? Interesting. We have had a tough run, man. And like Nobbins said, we got one more tough game, and then hopefully our fixture. Well, they do. Not hopefully, they do get a little bit easier. Big up for the super chat. Guys, make sure you follow Nobbins, subscribe to his channel. Link is in the description. If you've enjoyed the video, if you've enjoyed this stream, then a reminder that me and Nobbins usually go live after every City game. I'm saying that, but he is free to reject the offer at any point, should he wish. But so far this season, he has come on after every City game. So if you're enjoying it, make sure you join us again. Smash a like on the stream if you've enjoyed it. Smash a like on the video if you're watching back on replay. And if you are watching back on replay, guys, give us your comments down below. I'm super interested to hear what you guys are saying. I'm going live now with Saeed. So if you guys want some more, they're probably going to try and cook me, but hopefully not. The stream will automatically redirect you. So come over, Saeed TV. And guys, we're out of here. Peace out.